thing I'd like to ask you is it's been 5 years since your last album came out, and what have you been doing at that time? What's been going on, and why did it take such a long time to get it together?
Well, I produced an album, Nina's album, Singing the Cardigans. I did that. Produced a Johnston album. It's just too loud. And I sort of produced another album and got bands to cover Daniel's songs. Mm-hmm. So I was involved in 2 Daniel Johnston albums, and I did a thing with Christian Finnesz over in Europe.
Because you've been pretty busy then.
Yeah, not real busy, but
keep yourself.
Yeah, just trying to stay doing interesting things. You know.
Was writing this record a lot different for you than writing the previous ones?
Yeah, some songs were written during the recording of It's a Wonderful Life, and they were pop songs. And every time I tried to put a pop song, It's a Wonderful Life, it seemed like an anachronism, and so I held them. I had a few pop songs written that I knew would be on my next record that I was holding, and
is there any song in particular that just did not fit?
Shade and Honey.
Oh yeah.
That was written for my last album. I forget what else, but I knew that my next record would be more pop, and just make it work.
Mm-hmm. You also did some work for this. There's a movie called Laurel Canyon that came out in 2002. And there, did you do some soundtrack work on that, or did they just use?
They just used one of my songs.
You've already written.
Yeah.
And the same thing for Lords of Dogtown. They had a Pink Floyd cover they had done.
Yeah.
And going back to the Daniel Johnston thing, you did a cover of that with the Flaming Lips Go, I believe it was. How did you enjoy working with? I know you collaborated with Stephen Drozd on the drum vocals.
Yeah. Well, I really wanted to work with Wayne too, and I felt bad, working with Stephen and not Wayne. And I love Wayne's voice. So when I went to go do my cover of a Daniel song for that record, I've always loved that song so much, and I really love the second verse, and those lyrics in the second verse almost sound like something Wayne would write anyway.
Yeah.
So I asked him if he'd be into it, and luckily he was into it, and I really liked the way it turned out.
Yeah.
I'm just so honored to have a song with both of our voices on it.
And some of the songs, the earlier on the new album, do sound like they have a Flaming Lips influence to them as well, with the background bubble voices and everything like that. Did you take anything from working with them, with covering that song and with Stephen, that you intentionally put in there, or that just sounds like that?
Just Stephen playing drums, and specifically Dave Fridman recording Stephen playing drums. I guess he's one of my favorite drummers.
Did Fridman have a lot to do with this album recording and everything, or was this?
Not as much as It's a Wonderful Life. A lot of that was born and was mixed at Tarbox at Fridman's place. Dave Fridman's input on the current record was more basic tracks.
Oh, okay.
That are recorded that Stephen played on, and a few other songs. So I wasn't really with Fridman the whole time,
So this new one was recorded in the Static King Studios, and that's in North Carolina, by the Rocky Mountains. And if I read correctly, Smoky Mountains. It's pretty reclusive place that you went in. Is that on purpose?
Yeah, I grew up in the South in Virginia, and I've lived in New York and Los Angeles, but I moved back to the South like 10 or so years ago. In Virginia, I had a house. I moved from Virginia to North Carolina like 4 years ago, and it's more remote than where I lived in Virginia. It's the valley that I live in wasn't really even populated until didn't have electricity until like the 1950s. It's pretty remote. It was intentional moving down there. It's just a really sort of beautiful, unspoiled area. They don't do a lot of clear cutting where they come and just chop down all the trees. It's a little more pure and pastoral down there. can smell like it rains. It kind of has its own weather system. It rains almost every day when the sun comes out. You can smell the soil.
Because of the mountains around? It seems like that comes out in your songs a lot. A lot of them sound like what you would listen to like on a sunny afternoon or something like that. They seem a lot more pastoral than I guess ones on A Wonderful Life did. I guess that had an effect on it.
Yeah.
So okay, in the Static King studio, why did you call it Static King in the first place?
Oh, I don't know. I just like that. It's always been the name of my studio. This is the first album, no matter if it was in one room in the farmhouse where I started the first album or wherever I lived, it was always Static King. I don't know, I just always liked that.
It's nice. It has a nice little double meaning to it too, which I think is interesting. Do you think that you're going to stay at Static King in the future, or do you think you'll move around again, like New York, Barcelona, like you've done before?
I don't know. I'd really like to build my own studio. I just haven't been able. I haven't really sold enough records to really build the studio that I would like to have from scratch.
Right.
There's some people down there that take down old barns and then make houses out of them. And,
in South Carolina?
North Carolina, yeah. And so that's what I'd really like to do. There's a building in Michigan that I'd really like to buy that's like pre-Civil War. And it was built out of hand-hewn, like virgin timber. And around the turn of the century, it wasn't cool to have log structure, so they covered it with clapboard in like the 20s. So it's like these ancient logs that have been preserved with clapboard for 80 some years.
Can you get it moved from
That's why I need to sell some more records so I can pay for that building and have it moved down here, and this guy reconstructs it.
That would be amazing. So your record label Capitol, they asked you to get a outside producer for It's a Wonderful Life. It ended up working out because you got help from David Friedman. But now this new record is coming out on Astralworks. And is that, does Capitol's attitude change toward you in the 5 years? Is that why they...
No, not really. They've sort of just left me alone the whole time.
Which is surprising, really, coming from the underground.
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess I've been lucky in that aspect. But when I turned in the new record, I didn't hear from them for a couple of months. So I thought they didn't want to put it out, but I think the guy who was running Capitol and some of the people there, they're Sparklehorse fans, and I think they just thought that it would do better on a smaller, more concentrated label like Astralworks,
Is Astralworks any more involved in helping you put it out for more of a commercial success than Capitol was?
I just think, I don't know, I'm not sure, specifically what they, I don't know, what they do specifically that's different than Capitol, but just meeting with those people, it was like 10, 15 people in a room who were almost all of them fans, and were really enthusiastic about Sparklehorse, and that's never really happened before. I've always had this long distance relationship with Capitol, and Astralworks, like they go in there and they have like Boards of Canada posters on the walls, and they have records that I like, and bands that I like.
It's always nice to work with people that are enthusiastic about you before they even meet you anyway.